Thanks from fast breaks on the West Coast to fast cars and the stars who drive them in Canada. Welcome to Montreal and Circuit Gilles Villeneuve and NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying for tomorrow's 200-mile event around this very tricky, twisting 14-turn road course. End of a long day for the drivers and teams. They started here at 9 o'clock this morning with their first practice session local time, getting the feel for this racetrack that Rusty Wallace and Andy Petrie is very technical and very challenging.
It's a very tough course, a lot of turns, a lot of downshift, hard braking. The guy's going to be hard on the brakes, but you can't get your car off course. You really got to stay on this course if you're going to be successful.
And the rules for qualifying on a road course for the Nationwide Series just a little bit different.
Yeah, they go out in groups, and they start in the reverse order of the first practice session, so it kind of culminates into the fastest cars going last. 7 minutes per session.
Which is going to get them 3 or 4 laps tops for each group, although most teams we don't think will take that many.
Yeah, I talked to a few of the crew chiefs, and they're talking like maybe 2 laps is what they're gearing up for.
A little bit of a gamble, though, Andy. I mean, the groups, these guys going out, they can tape these noses off as much as they can, the openings in the grills. The more they tape it off, the faster the car is going to run, but it's also going to get real hot. So if they do get off course accidentally, they can really get themselves in big trouble with that going on. So they got to keep these things on course, not get them off, not wheel hop, not slide around. Very, very key practice, qualifying session right now.
We might see a lot of these groups here that are going in the early part run all of the laps because they were the slowest in the first practice session, so they're going to try to get out here, maybe see if they can get to know the racetrack a little better and just make multiple attempts at trying to make a fast lap because they're going to take the fastest single lap of the session.
And that's a good point because a road course is all about rhythm, and to get your rhythm sometimes it takes 2 and 3 laps to get it done. Way different than an oval track where you go out there and just get it done the first lap. Here, a lot of rhythm to get it right.
So the first group consists of 6 drivers. You saw the names listed earlier. That 7-minute clock starts when the first car in the group takes the green flag. That'll be this 31 machine that is driven by Kevin O'Connell, who will trip the clock for the 7-minute session in just a moment. He's on the very long straightaway now that leads from center corner, or turn number 10, back to the final couple of corners and onto the pit straight of the start-finish line.
About 180 miles an hour down into turn 13 where Kevin's approaching right now. A hard braking corner, hard right-hand turn. About right in this area here, that's 13. He'll exit turn 14, right where Marcus Ambrose lost the race last year, might I add.
Yeah, there's some big curbs right there that you've got to hit just right. You want to try to cut that corner off as much as possible, but you don't want to hit those curbs because they're getting pretty tall if you get over too far on them.
7 minutes from now, the first of the groups. Time will end on the racetrack. O'Connell is a 43-year-old from Newport Beach, California. This just his 3rd NASCAR Nationwide Series race. He made his debut on a road course in Mexico City back in 2008. He also ran the Road America race this past June out in Wisconsin. And if you're not used to driving one of these big, heavy NASCAR machines, big and heavy compared to other cars that, for example, O'Connell would normally run in sports car racing that are lighter and lower to the ground and more built for these left and right turns than these cars are designed mostly for oval tracks, it can take some getting used to.
It can take a lot getting used to. You can see the cars have a lot of body roll. They roll back and forth. They don't stop real good. These cars are 3,400 pounds, and they just don't react near as good as some of the real high-performance road course cars that we have seen. In fact, just ran a little while ago here, the Daytona prototypes just finished running here, which Scott Pruitt won. Congratulations to him.
This is Brent Rowe right here in this 89 car, driving for Morgan Shepherd from West Virginia. He's actually got 21 Nationwide Series starts.
But only one on a road course.
Yeah, that came right here last year.
Yep, this will be number 2 if he makes the field. 46 cars here. If you're new to NASCAR, the drivers in the top 30 in owner points are guaranteed a starting spot in the race. Everyone else that's not, including Brett Rowe in this 89, have to race their win on time against the other cars that are not in on time. Here's Jeff Green, former series champion, in the 36 car.
I would say Jeff Green's a pretty decent road racer. He's ran many times up at Watkins Glen on that course up there. Knows how to get around these racetracks, although this one here is probably pretty new to him. This course of Montreal is very tough to get around. Heck, guys, the last 2 years here we've had rain. This is only the dry time. First time the track being dry that I remembered a long time with this place.
Yeah, other than the first year way back in 2007. Now Green has an opportunity to get into the field on the former champions provisional rule as the 2000 series champ. So we'll see if that is his fallback to get him into the starting grid. Here is Morgan Shepherd. in the Childress 21 car.
Childress's car has always been strong on the road courses. He builds a really good car. Morgan's driving that. Great opportunity for Morgan. By the way, Brent Roach is P1 right now. He just came by to 146.35.
Yep.
Probably about 3 more laps yet in his run.
And that, just to spell out the details a little further, Rusty, that's 1 minute, 46 seconds, point whatever. We'll probably see the pole winning time be down around 1 minute 40.
Maybe even a little under. Could get down into 1 minute 39 second bracket. This 21 car, Richard Childress Racing, they had a great run, a great car last week with Clint Boyer at Bristol, actually leading the race, got in a wreck.
Now we're back to the 31 car of O'Connell. That was the first car in the group, and when he gets to the start-finish line, he'll get the white flag. So everybody else will have, he and everyone else will have 1 lap left in this group session to set their quick time.
Boy, that went quick.
Doesn't it? So this will be 1, 2. This will be his 3rd lap. So they'll get about 3 to 4 laps, depending.
Yeah, this is his 2nd timed lap coming up. So he will get at least 1 more if he chooses to take it. Once they pull in the pits, though, their qualifying session is over. Even if they run 1 lap and come in, they can't come in for adjustments and go back out.
New fast lap. Brett Rowe on his 2nd lap bettered his time, as did O'Connell. Bettered his time on the 2nd lap. He shows 2nd quickest right now overall. And we follow him on his last trip around the racetrack. Yellow stripes on the back bumper, indicative that O'Connell is a rookie in NASCAR Nationwide Series racing at this particular track. There's a little grass being cut right in front of Kenny Wallace.
It looks like Kenny Wallace just popped up to be the fastest car at 1 minute 45.96. I expect him to pick up a little bit more in the 3rd lap if he decides to run a 3rd lap.
I could have held him up right there.
I'm thinking he's off the pace because Morgan Shepherd got into the grass there in that first corner in front of him. Kind of messed up his line through that corner, and it sounds like he's off the pace.
Yeah, it looks like he's about giving it up right now.
Back to Brett Rowe, 2nd quickest at the moment in this group on his final lap.
If he can pick up about 3/10 of a second, he can move to the #1 spot for this session. Hear that right there when he made that shift. You could hear it hit the rev limiter just slightly.
Think about what a challenge it is for somebody who doesn't have a lot of road course experience to start with, and to come up here and run one of what is a one-off race for the season for him. What a challenge.
That's a pretty intimidating racetrack, too. You see how those curves, how high they are in that section. You just can't, you're tempted to take that shortcut, but boy, it'll make you pay if you try to take too much.
Looking good here to become our fast lap. And it does.
Yeah.
So Brett Rowe goes to the top of the stack in the first group. Looks like Kenny is done. Looks like Morgan Shepherd is done.
So it looks like Brett Rowe might win this first session.
And that might be what we get here in session #1. So it's Brett Rowe, Kenny Wallace, Mark Green, O'Connell, Jeff Green, and Morgan Shepherd. Now, Shepherd is guaranteed a starting spot in the race. Mark Green is guaranteed a starting spot in the race, as is Kenny Wallace. The other 3 in this group all have to race their way in on their times, although, again, Jeff Green could fall back on the former champions provisional if he needs to.
As you can see right here, O'Connell's about 1.5 seconds off of the fastest time of the session at that point of the track.
It's not something you're going to make up in half a lap.
Not from where he is.
Yeah.
There might be a shortcut somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a lot of drivers trying to make these shortcuts, and NASCAR really penalizes them for that. And, it might sound very simple, what I said earlier in the show when I said you got to stay on the course. A lot of people probably thought, well, no kidding, you got to stay on the course. But, if you hang a tire off the edge, it really costs you time. Sometimes I see the right fronts get off, the left fronts get off, and you're getting half the car on the grass, half the car on the track, and it really messes up your lap times. So it's crucial to stay on the course.
Calls off his bid to try and better the time since it wasn't going like he needed to. Brett Rowe fastest after the first group in qualifying for the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Montreal. Group #2 hits the track in just a minute. Back in Montreal, NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying. Group number 2 is on the racetrack now. First car in the group is Tommy Dreese in the 82 car, looking to make his NASCAR Nationwide Series debut. Former champion in the SCCA Trans Am Series and a winner in 2010 in the Trans Am Series. See the movie promo on the front of his car? This guy owns a company that does promotional displays for movies and movie theaters. Hence the tie to the sponsorship of a movie that's coming out shortly.
Good way to display it on the hood there.
Absolutely. So, young man, another good story. Paulie Haraka, driver that is upcoming through the NASCAR ranks. He moved into his dorm at Duke University on Wednesday. The sponsorship deal on the side of this car just came together that day, the day before. As he was moving into his apartment around Duke, and you notice the student driver stenciled on the back bumper of his car, all the materials, the decals and so on for this sponsorship were shipped to his dorm. So he got himself moved into his dorm on Wednesday, packed all those decals and things up, got on a plane here to Montreal on Thursday. He's been here getting ready to race, hopes to race tomorrow, and then he starts class at Duke on Monday. In order to get back for his first class, he has to drive with his family from here to Wayne, New Jersey, where they're from, and catch a flight out of New York City like at 6 o'clock on Monday morning to get back to Durham in time for his first class. That's pretty good stuff.
Well, he can drive. He's won 3 races in the K&N Pro Series West in 25 starts. So he's, if you win in that series, you got to be pretty good. So he's doing a good job there. 158 races in go-karts.
Driving the 87 Joe Nemechek team entry. Said after he ran the West Series race out at Sonoma, he and Joe started talking, and that was kind of the genesis of them getting together to run this race here today.
And Joe is fielding some really good road course cars. I remember Ron Fellows driving for Joe, winning the race up at Watkins Glen in his machine.
Yep.
So it's a pretty doggone good car.
You see tracking 6/10 ahead of the current pole time held by Brett Rowe.
And we should see that trend continue through these groups because each group is a faster group based on the first practice session today.
These drivers go out with the tires basically outside air temperature, and it takes a while for the temperature in the tires to build so the tires can create grip. Generally, that's the reason the second lap is always better than the first.
New leader in qualifying is that 87 car of Haraka. While we watch what's going on the track, Shannon Spakes down in the garage with one of the drivers getting ready to go.
And that driver would be Justin Allgaier. I came up to him, I asked him, how's the day been? And he said, normal road course racing? What does that mean?
Well, unfortunately, with all the oval experience that I have, I never really got much in the way of road course racing. So it's been challenging this year. The Verizon Dodge guys do a great job every week, and they're trying to help me out as much as they can. And, just going around and talking to different drivers and trying to watch what they're doing. And I've got great teammates to learn from. So we're just out there kind of beating around, banging off the curbs and enjoying it. And hopefully we can pick up a little bit of time today for qualifying that we couldn't seem to find this morning for practice.
Thank you very much. Good luck this weekend. Justin Allgaier. Alan?
Okay, Shannon, watching Mike Wallace putting his laps in on the racetrack. Right now, tracking second fastest. Oh, one off the course. That's Pierre Bourque, one of the drivers from the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series, looking to make his Nationwide Series debut. That car has been repaired after he got into the wall earlier today in final practice.
Yeah, the right rear corner of that car really got tore up big time earlier.
Now we shift back to Mike Wallace because at the time we left him, he was tracking to have the second fastest lap in this session. And right now showing...
Actually tracking to be first.
Yeah.
Keep this up.
Yeah, the car looks good. The nose is nice and low on the front of that car. Good smooth lap for Mike so far.
See Patrick there. McGee watching the monitor so he can see his car go around the track. That's one of the frustrating parts about being a crew chief or crew member here at a road course is you cannot see your car and see where it is on the track. So you have to find a monitor to see it. Now Mike Wallace is at the top of the sheet.
All right, here's what happened to Bourque just a second ago.
Oh, it just got loose.
All right, so Pierre Bourque back underway and looking to regroup. Tracking again the 87, who's been bumped back to second fastest of Paulie Haraka.
Paulie's going to be pretty popular with his classmates back there at school.
It's a pretty different thing to be doing on weekends from Duke University, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right, checking out Tommy Dreese. Right now showing the 7th fastest time overall and picking up some speed there. Got himself tracking for 3rd fastest.
Kind of getting some of that oil dry there. Got a little wheel spin. Probably hurt him just a little bit getting up off of turn 11.
You can see his advantage kind of dwindling down the straightaway.
Yeah, horsepower is everything. When that straightaway is that long, one of the longest straightaways in all of NASCAR it is, from turn 11 all the way down to turn 13, about 180 miles an hour.
Yeah, lost a little bit of time there in that run off that corner. And Dreese moves up to 5th place with that lap. Now, checking out Taylor Malsom. Malsom 3rd overall for the moment, but you can see the lap tracker.
He's got 2nd faster right now at that point. If he doesn't run off the course, he's going to be number 1 easy.
It's one of the Braun Racing Toyotas, teammates to Jason Leffler and Jack Villeneuve, who both were pretty good in practice earlier today. Mike Massaro got more.
Well, yeah, Andy, I know you were saying that tongue-in-cheek. If he doesn't run off the course, he'll be okay, but there may be some truth to that. This day has been a day of tracing the learning curve for Taylor Malsom. He's never been here before, and in the 2nd run in the 1st practice, he smacked the wall. They did heavy damage to the left rear quarter panel of that race car and basically washed that practice out. Had to do all their work during the 2nd practice to dial this race car in and get him comfortable behind the wheel of that race car.
All right, well, Malsom's now the leader in qualifying, so we re-rack, and that sounds like Haraka's off the gas and called it a session. Let's talk about, Andy, how many laps you run versus your strategy for Sunday's race and how it factors in, because it does.
Well, these cars cannot fuel after qualifying, so whatever they run in these qualifying laps is just laps off their fuel tank. So it's going to be, depending on your mileage, you can, most cars I've talked to can go around 27, 28 laps, but if you're not getting much better than that, you're going to be risking running out of fuel in the, the way you divide the race up. So 74 laps is the race distance.
So if you take an extra lap in qualifying, you may
you might run out of gas.
Wrinkle in your race strategy on fuel. Going to be interesting to see. So looks like all the cars on the track in this session have put in all the fast laps they're going to. And so it'll be Taylor Malsom who goes to the number 1 spot in qualifying, with Haraka, Wallace, and Victor Gonzalez Jr. now 4th. Brett Rowe, the 1st session leader, goes down to 5th. And we have got plenty more still to come from Montreal.
NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying is brought to you by Cars.com, where confidence comes standard. And Wrangler. For unbeatable comfort and value, you can count on Wrangler. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying ongoing at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, on the island in the middle of the St. Lawrence River where the racetrack is situated. Group 3 out on the racetrack now. Michael McDowell, Mike Bliss, Alex Kennedy, Brian Scott, Stanton Barrett, and Tony Raines, the 6 drivers in this group. Time to beat is Taylor Malsom's 1 minute and 44.52 seconds that he set in the last group out on track a minute ago. Let's hear from some of the drivers who just finished qualifying while this group gets up to speed. Mike?
And one of them is Paulie Haraka, who posted the 2nd fastest lap during that session. How would you assess it?
It wasn't a bad lap. I mean, most of practice we couldn't get quite what we needed. So we made pretty wholesale changes going into qualifying, just trying to get me more comfortable in the car and get what I needed. And we definitely went the right direction. This is the fastest lap we've run. It's the best the car's been. We still have a ways to go, so we'll take advantage of every pit stop we can to make this Excite Batteries car better.
This will be just your 6th career road course start in a stock car. What are your expectations based upon your limited experience so far?
I mean, it's just about learning. I mean, I've done really well on the road courses. We've got 2 top 3s in the West Series this year on road courses. I love them. I mean, it's a ton of fun being here in Montreal. This place is awesome. This track is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to race. So, we'll get going in the race. I mean, the expectations are have a solid day. Don't make as few mistakes as possible, if any, and just do everything right. And I think we'll be in a decent position come the end of the race. We'll take advantage and we'll bring the Excite car down pit road whenever we can. Just make adjustments on it, keep trying to make it better, and hope that when the last 20 laps comes around, we're in a position and we've tuned on the car enough that we've got a shot at it.
And Alan, you certainly can't question this kid's determination. Believe it or not, 5 years ago, the drivers' meeting at Homestead Miami Speedway, he was just 15 years old. He handed me his marketing portfolio. He wants to make it. He's bound and determined to do it.
Young man with a bright future ahead of him, no matter what the racing business turns out for him. He's got a bright future, that's for sure. 81 car, Michael McDowell. Pretty good little road racer.
Yeah, real good road racer. Qualified 5th at Road America this year. He's always been known for being a great road racer, matter of fact. He can take pretty well anything and get the best out of it on the road courses.
Yeah, I talked to him and Patrick Donahue, his crew chief, earlier this weekend, and they basically had to put this car together in a short amount of time. When it got here, it didn't even have the decals on the side. Their other car that they would normally run here, they've kind of leased it out for another driver this weekend, so this is a kind of a different car for them.
Got to do what you got to do in times, right, in this racing business. Shannon, got more on this 81?
Yeah, an adventure getting here with the car and an adventure once they got here. This is actually the second motor in this car today. I spoke with Michael before he climbed in for these qualifying laps. He just said it's been really tough. They didn't get a lot of practice with this second motor. But as you guys said, he is one of the road course aces, cut his teeth on road course. He's actually signed a deal with Michael Waltrip Racing. He helps out Trevor Bain and David Rudiman on the road courses just to prepare for these types of races, and did take Trevor Bain around this track earlier today. So really kind of just helping out all over.
And he's going to win the pole here, or at least go to the top of the board by a bunch in this session. McDowell lowers the fastest time to 1 minute 42.83 seconds, chunking a couple of seconds off the quick time.
Yeah, that's a pretty good lap time. I mean, if you kind of compare it back to final practice, the fastest car was about a minute and 30 seconds, or 40, I'm sorry, minute 40 seconds. So, you know, he's a couple of seconds off of that, but he's still going for more here. You can see he's just almost half a second faster this lap.
Here's Mike Bliss, also on track. Happy birthday, Mom.
That's Curtis Key's mom's 75th birthday. Put it on the car.
Curtis, the team owner for this 40 group. Talked with some of the guys outside our hotel in Montreal before coming to the racetrack yesterday about getting up here and racing in Canada and the whole experience of being in Montreal. It's really a trip that a lot of the teams really enjoy. It's a long trip for them from where they're based, and you know, the whole customs thing and all that you have to go through when you cross borders to race, but they really do enjoy the experience of racing here in this city and at this track.
Well, I'll tell you, it was one of my favorites. There's no doubt about that. Road America this year was a lot of fun on the road course.
Wow.
Over here at Montreal.
Look at him carrying that left front tire.
See Michael McDowell now on another run that would place him even faster.
6/10 to the good right now from the current pole leading time.
Pretty amazing how much time these guys pick up from the first lap to the second lap, just building the rhythm and getting the heat in the tires and stuff like that. But he's on a great run right now. He's really going to get down to low 142 second bracket, it looks like.
Got it down to 1 minute 42 seconds, .11. Wow.
That's pretty low, I'd say. It's a great run out of him after all the work they've had to do this car. It's like Shannon said, a couple different motors, getting in this car, getting this thing all put together, a lot of work, but it's all paid off.
Here's Brian Scott tracking to have the second fastest time by a good bit. Now, second, third, lost a little bit in that last corner.
Brian Scott, here's another guy that's flat getting the job done this year. Remember that great run he had in Chicago, finished third up there with all the top guys? He's been getting faster and faster every single track he goes to. He's starting to look like a veteran out there personally. I mean, I like watching this kid run.
It is McDowell, Kennedy, and Scott, the top three. All three cars in this session. They bumped Taylor Malsom, who led at the beginning of this session, back down to fourth position for the moment. And while we watch these cars run out their last lap in this session, let's hear from a guy getting ready to go. Shannon is with Brendan Gaughan.
Brendan Gaughan already inside of his car. Third place earlier this season at Road America. How much of that will translate here to this weekend?
This is the same Camry we had at Road America, and we brought it. This is the one I really wanted here. It handles the high-speed braking zones. I think we're going to have a good Camry. It just never went fast. The changes all worked. Everything got better. I went out with fresh tires, and we just didn't go faster. So I think it's good. I think a lot of what we learned at Road America will pay off here, just not the elevation change like they have there.
All right, hopefully he'll find some speed here in qualifying, guys.
All right, Shannon, thanks. What was that you were saying about saying on the pavement sounds like it's...
Well, there you go. I finally got to see somebody go off the track, and that's what happens when you overdrive the corners. He just tried to get the most out of it, just got a little too hot at the corner.
And did you notice where the tracker was at the point where he went off the course? He was on track to give McDowell a run for that fastest lap. Uh-oh. That's not good for Stan Barrett.
Got some damage in our right rear quarter panel, Barrett does.
And right
Oh,
there,
yeah.
wow, he's
Right
got some
front.
right side damage there.
And Barrett, one of the guys that has to make this field on time. And here was Brian Scott getting off the course.
Trying to get just a little too much.
Andy, it almost looked like he locked the rear wheels up when he got at that corner and just had to hold on to that baby.
Yeah, that wheel hop can, you know, when you try to drive the car down in the corner too hard, you hit that brake too hard and those rear wheels start to hop. You just have to kind of bail out and find you a way to save your car.
Mike Bliss still after it out on the racetrack. Or was.
Yeah, looks like he's had enough. Looks like he's slowing down right now. Be bringing that 40 car in.
He is showing 9th fastest overall out of 18 that have gone at this point for Bliss. But again, Mike guaranteed a spot in the field by virtue of this 40 team's owner points.
Well, Michael McDowell put up a pretty good number for this session. I'm just looking at the last practice session, and that kind of lap time would have placed him in the top 15 in practice. I'm sure all the cars will pick up a little bit, but that's still a pretty respectable time for Michael McDowell.
And looks like Tony Raines has called it a session as well. 6th fastest overall at the moment in that 34 car.
You know, you just got to wonder about Michael McDowell. He's worked so hard to get that 81 car to the track. Does he have a good enough pit crew, I wonder, to run this race and compete up front?
Well, it's the same team that's been going from week to week with Randy McDonald Motorsports, right? So McDowell, he doesn't look, for a guy that just went to the top of the board, he doesn't look very happy.
He's got to be pretty tired of all that work he's been doing.
Or he's still thinking about where he left fractions of seconds out there, one or the other. McDowell, the leader in qualifying. 5 groups to go in Montreal. ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball has a critical AL East matchup. David Ortiz and the Boston Red Sox take on their rivals, the Tampa Bay Rays, led by Evan Longoria. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern. Then the action continues in the NL East on ESPN's Monday Night Baseball as David Wright and the Mets face Jason Hayward and the Braves. Both games available on ESPN3.com. The next group on the racetrack, Group 4, getting on their warm-up laps, getting their warm-up laps going. While we do that, let's hear from the man who's leading qualifying at the moment.
And that's Michael McDowell. But as you got out of the car and started walking down pit road, you were shaking your head. Why?
You know, we had troubles in practice, had to put a backup engine in, and I knew I just needed to put a decent lap in to get in the race. Then I tried to get a little bit more, and then that third lap I tried to get even more yet. The 81 team did a great job today. They really had to hustle to get to your tech, and you know, that motor change was really late in the game. So really proud of my guys. Made a small mistake there. Was hoping to get a little bit better lap.
You mentioned late in the game. In the 2 practices combined, you ran a total of 6 laps. How were you able to put up such a good lap?
Yeah, this is our first weekend with this Ford Fusion, and we just had some growing pains in the beginning of practice. So luckily we had a really good car to start out with.
Growing pains, and also, Alan, they needed to be a bit resourceful. They didn't have a backup motor. They had to scramble and look around the garage to find one. Looks like they found a pretty good one.
Wow, what a weekend. Persevering, and they will be in the race. Michael McDowell locking in a spot in the field. Group 4, Justin Allgaier, heard from him a few minutes ago. Trevor Bayne, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Joe Nemechek, Tony Ave, and Kyle Kelly on the racetrack. Whoa, hang on there, Justin. Allgaier has had his struggles on road courses in the Nationwide Series this season, that's for sure. Now, Trevor Bayne looking to post a pretty good number. He was getting schooled by a couple of pretty good guys, Michael McDowell being one of them, to brush up on his road course skills.
Well, it doesn't look like it's going to be this lap.
Yeah.
A couple seconds off so far.
I'll tell you what, he's been a pretty good little road racer. The Road America, I believe he finished 10th, stayed on a course all day long, had a strong run. Pretty impressive. And I think if you can get it done at Road America, you can get it done here too.
Speaking of young drivers figuring their way around road courses, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the Roush Fenway number 6 Ford. Also not a lot of road racing experience in his background.
So I'm down there talking to Carl Edwards a lot today about how to get around this course. They were really getting some heavy debrief sessions about what to do and how to make them better. So it was good conversation when you can go up, when you're a guy like Ricky, you can go up to a champion like Carl Edwards and talk to him about how to get it done. Because Carl did win this race last year and also won Road America.
I saw a quote from Ricky after today's practice sessions ended. He said, well, car's in one piece, and I learned a lot. This could be, this will be just his second ever road course race in the NASCAR Nationwide Series.
And people ask me all the time, what's so different about road racing? And it is, road racing is not like the oval track racing where everything's so repetitive. You get into a rhythm. The corners are kind of the same, but it's just doing so much. I mean, you can see this racetrack here. It's just got so many features to it, and there's so many places you can make a mistake and make up time. So. Road racing is very complicated. A lot of fun. A lot of guys like it.
Stenhouse Jr. up to third and the fastest in this session so far. Here is Allgaier tracking to match that. Whoop, hang on. Keep it on the course.
Well, you see just how much that hurt his lap times there. It just went from like 3/4 of a second off to now almost 1.5 seconds off.
Yeah.
It's another classic case of staying on the racetrack. Boy, when you start throwing some dirt up, that means those tires are spinning and they're not going forward. And you got to have that momentum, man.
And as heavily as it looked like that left front corner of that car might have dug in, you wonder if he turned the shape of that fender just enough. These finely tuned cars aerodynamically, if he turned it just a little bit, it can change the way the car drives totally.
Man, I worry about everything. The ball joints, A-frames. These cars really take a pounding at these road courses.
Yeah.
That was a nice little set of corners there.
So Allgaier recovering to track for third quickest.
I'm going to go for it.
Up to third fastest with that lap, and you heard his radio just a second saying, I'm going to go for it. We'll see how that lap plays out. Here's Tony Ave, Wisconsin driver, veteran of road course racing, the Trans Am Series particularly. Put in a very impressive performance out at Road America in this Nationwide Series event.
Trevor Bayne just popped up second.
And Tony Ave tracking second quickest on this lap. Now third.
Tell you, Tony's done quite a bit of stuff. He's also a snowmobile champion. He even did that 1993 Pro Sprint World Snowmobile Champion.
Well, you don't mess with those guys. They're tough.
They are tough.
Driver of the 35, who at Road America this year got knocked around a little bit and still came back and kept going and wound up having an impressive run, noteworthy run anyway. I know that the finishes weren't what he wanted, but it certainly caught my attention. Now tracking second quickest on this lap for Tony Ave. Now Trevor Bayne, Andy, you mentioned, up to second quickest overall in the session, trying to put up a number that might keep that spot on the board here.
He really sailed it hard into turn 10 right there. Saw the rear end dancing around in that car. That's in turn 12 now.
I talked to his crew chief, Jerry Baxter, about what their goals were and expectations were for this weekend. He said they just want to make a solid run here, and a top 10 finish would be just exactly what they need. They're not trying to go out here and set the world on fire. They want to just try to stay on the track, keep the car in one piece.
He's had a great year with all these pole positions. Got a lot of attention, a lot of respect from his peers. Real solid looking racer out there, young guy.
Yeah, like we mentioned before, you can't teach fast. The kid does have fast. Second quickest for Trevor Bayne that last lap, 1 minute 43.16 seconds. Now Tony Ave tracking on his lap. What will be his last one? Lost a little bit of time there in that corner. Numbers spinning the wrong way on him.
Yeah, but he can still pick up his time from the session. He's sixth fastest overall right now, and he's tracking fourth, so really wants to finish this lap off good.
That is Joe Nemechek that creeps into the picture behind Ave from moment to moment. Also out in this session, and Nemechek showing eighth fastest overall. All right, so Ave slotting in sixth quickest with the second of his 3-time laps. Ricky Stenhouse showing fourth fastest of this group. Justin Allgaier showing fifth fastest overall. And Trevor Bayne the quickest of Group 4 with the second quickest time overall. And I would say that's a cool-down lap.
Yeah, they're trying to save a little fuel here coasting in.
That first lap, Jerry, I thought I was going to crash. I was slipping and sliding so much on these tires. You know, I'm sorry I didn't get more out of it. I couldn't get it right, you know.
Feedback from the driver of the 99 to his team as he coasts back around to the garage area. Michael McDowell still the overall leader. Trevor Bayne fastest in Group 4 and second quickest on the board right now. Tomorrow, the NASCAR Nationwide Series goes 200 miles here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Our coverage begins at 2 Eastern Time on ESPN2 with NASCAR Countdown, the third and final Nationwide Series road course race of the season. And boy, have we got a talent-filled field from people like Carl Edwards and Brad Keselowski to Jacques Villeneuve and Max Pappas and Boris Said and many more. 2 Eastern tomorrow from Montreal. Hope you'll join us for our race coverage. Waiting on Group 5 to roll out onto the racetrack. Let's check downstairs with Shannon.
Well, Alan, you can add Robbie Gordon to that list of drivers here in the field. First time back here in Montreal since 2007. Robbie, there are a lot of drivers in this field this weekend who have something to prove, who really have that desire to get to victory lane for one reason or another. How is that going to affect what we see on the racetrack on Sunday?
Well, I think for us, you know, we came close to winning Sonoma this year. Kind of beat ourselves at Watkins Glen. We feel this is a good opportunity to at least pull a car into victory lane at Robbie Gordon Motorsports this year. So I'm excited to have Mape and Menards on board and try to do the best job we can.
Robbie Gordon, first time since 2007 here at Montreal. Mike?
And Shannon, Trevor Bayne posting a very strong lap. Second overall, the fastest in that session. What'd you think out there?
It's strong for now. I mean, these ringers are coming up next. So one thing about road course racing is all the good guys get to go at the end. It's really slick. After that rubber that got laid down by the other series, these tires didn't match up the first lap. I thought we were going to be in the fence a couple times. But, you know, this is a pretty strong run for our Outpet Care Toyota for the first time ever being here. Only our third road course ever together. And my fifth one ever competing in my whole career. So to be sitting second right now is pretty awesome. We had some decent cars in that group, you know, with Allgaier and Stenhouse. So we'll just see where we end up here. But, you know, we've got so much to learn throughout this whole race, and I think we got a really strong car. Teammates with a 00 and 00 and 47, and those guys are awesome drivers. So if they can make their cars go fast, we should be able to get this thing going fast.
Well, Alan, you can hear the enthusiasm in Trevor Bayne's voice. Doesn't matter how limited his experience is on road courses, he seems pretty optimistic.
And as you see, Bayne second out of the cars that have run their qualifying efforts so far. The fastest of the go-homers, if you will, is Michael McDowell in that 81. Joe Nemechek in the 97, also looking to be in pretty good shape for making the field on his time. So Group 5 of 8 on the racetrack now, and things are going to start picking up a little bit. Remember, the cars going out in reverse order of times they set in practice, so faster cars from practice as we go further into the session. Paul Menard's always a threat on a road course, got a lot of experience on road racing in his background.
Yeah, he takes a lot of pride in his road racing skills, and he's quite good, and he had a great run at Road America, kind of like his home track from Wisconsin. Kind of gotten a little beating and banging going on at the end and didn't get the finish that he thought he should have gotten, but had a good run.
And you see from that number on the left of the tracker, Menard tracking as first quickest so far and locking up that right front tire under braking, though.
I would call this particular car a real sister car to Carl Edwards. They ran awful close to the same speed at Road America the last race up there in Wisconsin. That was a great time to watch both these guys run. Looks like their cars are built very, very similar. And it's like you said, Menard is a great road racer. Seems like he really excels on these style tracks.
Got a pretty fast lap going right here. Looks like he's going to keep going. He might be almost a second faster than Michael McDowell.
Matt Pusha, his crew chief, looking on as the car comes down right in this part of the racetrack by pit entry.
I think I like so much about this car. That nose is always on the ground. Looks very,
wow.
Well, until right
very great go-kart looking. Hits that rumble strip up in the air. You really don't want to do a lot of that, because that'll really tear a car up if you hit those things too hard.
See him swerve to avoid that trash bag or something that was blowing around the front stretch?
Well, he's set the fast time so far.
So top of the board for Paul Menard. Behind him on the racetrack, Brendan Gaughan just clocked the third quickest lap.
Oh, he slid that left front hard getting in that corner. Got to be careful with that because he's got to start the race on this set of tires. You don't want to flat spot him.
Yeah, you tear these things up and you got to change tires. You're going to have to go to the back of the field, and these drivers don't want to do that. So I know the team will be looking at that left front tire real hard, but he's excited about this race. Ran third at Road America. Thinks he can win this one.
26 car, Parker Kligerman. Ooh, wow.
Yeah, he's catching a lot of curbs here. Can work against you.
Steiner talking to one of Kligerman's crew guys today, and he told me, he said, man, this kid is really good on the road courses. Started dead last in one of the road course races in ARCA. Drove it all the way up to the front, took the lead, and won the race.
This should be his first nationwide series road course race. And right now, 5th fastest on his first lap, tracking for a little bit faster on this one. 24 car, DJ Kennington. Run a number of NASCAR Nationwide Series races over a couple of seasons. Regular on the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series. Right now, 23rd fastest is where he's tracking overall. He posted the 13th quickest lap on his first trip around.
Looks like Paul looks like he's finished with his qualifying run.
Yep, that's pit entry. He's just gone through there. Menard was tracking to better his time until...
Uh-oh. Yeah, he just got in there too hot and did a good job not to lock up the wheels and flat spot the tires.
Yeah, you know when you're too deep and you can't save it. That's a good job of Borton.
All right, what about Brendan Gaughan? His first lap was the better of them still. 3rd quickest overall. By the way...
3:45.
Menard's lap, new track record for the Nationwide Series at this track in qualifying. Down into the 1 minute 41 second bracket. Old record was 1 minute 42.08. And I think we're going to see that record lowered by a number as this session goes on.
Guys, every paved portions of this racetrack now, we ran on it last year, but it rained so much the drivers really couldn't get full advantage of it, but the speeds are up. Definitely this year over the previous years. In my mind, because our cars just got more power, the track's got more grip. We got good. Whoa! Not what you want.
No.
Stop.
Oh.
There he goes. Good job.
You might not like it so much when he rolls away.
The tough thing about Gaughan right now is the tires. He's tore those tires up. He might have to start in the back of the pack because of that.
Now, under the rules that NASCAR runs its road course races on, those blue flags you see, that's a local warning flag for drivers. They were warning Justin Marks, who's still on a decent lap, that there was a problem in that section of the track. You see he's coming up on Brendan Gaughan's damaged car here.
Yeah, and this is definitely going to hurt Justin Marks' lap, being hung behind Brendan Gaughan.
Yep.
Oh, that's going to hurt it even more there.
No. All right, another look at what happened to the 62 car that got him wiggling and wobbling and spinning around.
Basically just overdrove the corner here, and he was really pushing hard.
It looks like the car got loose going at the corner, just like some of the other cars we've seen. But, boy, great job not hitting that wall because he got so close.
I believe he did catch a little bit of the wall here at the end of this.
Yeah, just a little bit with the left rear, I believe. If not, he scared it anyway.
I would agree with that.
The other car in this group we haven't talked about yet, Michael Annett, is not having a very good afternoon in qualifying. 25th fastest. He just moved up. Yep, just moved up to 20th. But he would probably have liked more. Of course he would. He's a racer.
I believe he's had enough too. Going to bring that car in. Position, a 20th position right now.
All right, so Group 5 done with their qualifying efforts, and a new track record and a new leader in overall qualifying. Paul Menard to the top of the board. 3 groups still to come. Live on ESPN2 tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, and ESPN boxing special from right here in Montreal. In the main event, exciting lightweight prospect Cameron Hank Lundy takes on fellow prospect Omri Lowther. Join Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas ringside. Brian Kenny in the studio from Montreal. Boxing tonight on ESPN2. Somewhere across the St. Lawrence River is the arena where they'll have the big box and the big fight tonight. Across the river, actually on an island in the middle of the river, We bring you NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, where Paul Menard is the leader in qualifying so far, Mike.
And despite the fact that he had such a great lap, I talked to him during the break, asked him how he felt about it, and you told me not real good. Why?
Well, the car was really good. We never did a mock run in practice. Had a lot more grip. The tires did with air pressures and everything, and they put new brakes on. The brakes stopped really well. And I broke a little bit deeper than I had in practice, but it still wasn't deep enough, so I left some out there the first lap. The second lap, I tried to get back what I left out, and the tires were just hot and the brakes were hot by then, so I pulled it in. But real proud of the Menards guys. They did a good job, and we'll see where that stands.
A real strong run for Paul Menard, Shannon.
Mike, Brad Keselowski, the only driver to finish top 5 in both road courses this season. I know you have a pretty good lead in the points. How aggressive are you willing to get your first road course win?
Well, I'd like to just be in position, and to be in position to win would mean as much to me as anything else. Road course racing, I've said before, is not really my strong suit, and I don't have any road racing background. The first and only road course races I've ran have been here in the Nationwide Series, and the 2 starts I've had this year on the Cup side. So got a lot of room to grow as a driver on these road courses, but have made some steady progression over the last couple races on them, and feel like we got a good shot here on Sunday at Montreal.
Well, he says he might not be pretty good here at road courses, but his finishes have been great, guys.
All right, down to the final 16 drivers in qualifying, 6 of them making up Group 6. Look at the names in this. Steve Wallace, Jason Leffler, Colin Brown, J.R. Fitzpatrick, Ron Fellows, Robbie Gordon. It's going to get busy at the top of that board.
I'd say you got to be pretty proud of Steven to be in this group, Rusty.
Well, he's got a pretty good car. He's pretty happy with it. Just like I've been telling you guys all day long, these guys have just got to stay on the course. And when I watch this group that's getting faster and faster, when they get faster, that's when they get off course a little bit.
They go for a little more than they...
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go faster than their tires want to handle it.
I talked to Steven earlier this week. He said he really loves road course racing.
Oh, into the wall. Jason Leffler scuffing up the right side of that 38 car.
And I was just getting ready to brag on him. He was fast in happy hour. I was thinking maybe he might be there. I don't know if he hit anything, though, did he? Yeah, a little bit. I don't think it hurt it too bad.
Yeah, that's the question. Not whether he hit it, whether he hurt it. What do you see there?
It was definitely
Pretty
flat that right side out.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that, Alan. It looks like the right front is okay on the car, but the last camera shot the right rear. Looks like he got roughed up a little bit too much.
Yeah, he's off track here. This is offline just a little bit in this part of the track. He was 4th quickest in happy hour.
You know, if you're with us in our coverage of happy hour this morning, we talked about whether Jacques Villeneuve, working with that Braun Racing team, had helped pick up the game for Jason Leffler. I talked to Jason in the garage area between practice and qualifying. He said, oh, yeah. He said, Villeneuve went and tested for our team and helped the whole package. He said, next time I got in one of our team's cars at a road course, it was a couple seconds better. So, experience helps. Speaking of experience, Rapid Ron Fellows.
Well, if you want to win a race on a road course, there's nothing wrong with putting this guy in your seat. He's won so many of these races and different types of cars and different types of road tracks. Flat knows how to get it done. One of the smoothest drivers I've ever seen on a road course.
And Robbie Gordon on the track in this session.
Mr. Aggressive, I call him. He wants to win this thing bad. He's really good on a road course. We all know that. Great out at Sears Point, Watkins Glen, and here.
All right, so while we watch Robbie track now 3rd fastest overall, and this first,
oh, man,
look out.
Oh, he locked those fronts up really big time there.
Yep.
Unless he,
no,
he's got some.
He's just shedding pieces there.
Last spot of my tires really bad. Had some parts flying out
like
there.
a brake duct or something dragging.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, there goes part of it.
Well, that's going to be big for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's put debris on the track, and does it interrupt this session? Second of all, if they have to go in and repair that, then that means Robbie Gordon, in an impound race like these Nationwide Series races are, is going to have to start at the back of this field and come through traffic on Sunday. And that'll be exciting.
Well, the best I can tell, he hasn't made a complete lap yet. He finally did it, 31st fastest Gordon did.
Whoa.
Oh, that's wheel hop. You could hear it right there.
Yep.
Did a good job recovering, though.
Jason Leffler, 3rd fastest on his first lap. You see that he's tracking 2nd quickest now, so an attempt to gain a little time here. And And let's see how this comes out for Jason Leffler as he takes that curve in a big way.
Pretty good. He's tracking first. Yeah, he's gonna post the fastest time.
Hello, new leader. Jason Leffler sliding it through there after setting the fastest lap. While we watch Leffler continue, let's check with Mike.
And it was certainly an eventful qualifying session for Brendan Gaughan. What happened?
Rusty gave me a whole lot better camera than what I just did to it. You know, trying to get a little bit more, have the best lap of my day going, and I just got too deep into turn 8. Locked it up, tried to get off the lockup, and then I went through the grass and it spun me. So not a whole lot of damage. The left rear bumper's got a little bit, and we were told we can put tape on it and with our hands, and we don't go to the back. Got to worry about the Goodyear tires now, though. We might have flat spotted them. We'll take a look at them tomorrow.
How would you assess the tire situation? I mean, do you think you'll go to the back? Do you think you'll change them?
I drove in and I didn't feel any real big flat spots, you know, where you feel the car vibrating and shaking. My bet is right now, Brad, Jason, and I will sit down, and I think we're going to try to roll it. I'd rather start 20th than 40th. We can always stop early when we get to our first window, stop under green and put 4 freshmen on and hope for the caution after that.
Well, obviously not the circumstances that Brendan Gaughan wants to enter the race with, but he's going to have to play the cars he's dealt. Alan?
All right, Mike. How about Robbie Gordon?
Well, he does a good job of recovering after really locking those fronts up. He's 4th quickest on that last lap. I'm actually pretty surprised he could do that.
Unfortunately, I just know that Robbie Gordon's going to have to go to the back of the pack because he don't have no brake cooling hoses on that car, and you have got to have those hoses in order to survive this race.
Here's Colin Brown in the Roush Fenway 16, tracking 4th fastest right now. His first lap got him 6th overall.
We'll go back to Robbie Gordon for just a moment, Rusty. He does have to make this field on time, so that's why he's staying out there making these laps. Regardless, if he, you know, now that he's locked into the field, he can go to the rear, but until that last lap, he wasn't even in the field.
Good point.
And let me just mention that the bumping process has begun for the cars not locked into the field. Pierre Bourque in the 61 is out of the field for the race. On the bubble is Kevin O'Connell in the 31. Colin Brown goes up to 4th position in the rundown. And Robbie Gordon now back to 5th overall.
He gets to look at that brake duct every time by. Knows it's his.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting way that car looked going into turn 10, Andy, when the air dam laid down the ground just like that.
Oh, he just about caught a groundhog.
What was that?
That's a groundhog.
Talk about an eventful qualifying session for Robbie Gordon.
Locked my tires up, I tore my brake ducts off, and almost hit a groundhog. Oh. And there's a lot of groundhogs around here. You drive into the racetrack, you see them sitting everywhere.
All right, 6th fastest for Robbie Gordon. Check out the critter on the right.
Whoops, stop.
Maybe
I
not.
think I'll go this way.
Yeah, that was a good decision there. I don't know if that's Punxsutawney Phil's cousin or whatnot, but it was a good decision to go back the other way. So Robbie Gordon, 6th fastest. Ron Fellows 5th. Colin Brown 4th. Others in this group, J.R. Fitzpatrick 7th, Steve Wallace 8th, but Jason Leffler is the new track record holder and the new man at the top of the stack in qualifying at Montreal. Coverage of Major League Baseball continues on ESPN tomorrow and Monday night. Crucial matchup as the Red Sox try to catch the Rays and the Yankees in the AL East and the wild card. That's ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball. Red Sox and Rays at 8 Eastern. Plus on Monday, the NL East, ESPN's Monday Night Baseball has David Wright and the Mets taking on Jason Hayward and the Braves. That's a close division race as well. Both games available on ESPN3.com. So qualifying ongoing here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, and Robbie Gordon checking out the underside of his car. Remember, we saw that ducting come out from underneath it.
I think he's checking out the tire there too, trying to see just how much damage they did when they locked them up.
Yeah, I'm thinking the brake came out of the left front corner of the car. Another look at what happened to the 07 as he came down into turn 10. Things coming out there, and
you see pieces of that car. The part of that brake duct is carbon fiber. The part hooked to the hoses. It looked like part of that came apart. Shannon?
Down here with Robbie Gordon, who was just underneath the car. So what's the diagnosis? What happened?
Well, here's how do I say this? hate to say we beat ourselves, but we beat ourselves consistently in the sport for some reason. But locked up the brakes, and looks like it caught a brake hose. I don't know why it would catch a brake hose even if it locked up the brakes, but it pulled off the B blower and the brake hose going to the left front. So it's going to be interesting for us.
If you guys do have to make changes to this car, you're most likely going to have to start from the back. How challenging is that going to be for you here this weekend?
I think he probably threw it in the trash, kind of wasted the weekend. But you know, I'm hugely disappointed. I don't understand why. Obviously, we'll figure it out. But you know, we changed brake pads too going into qualifying, and that was probably a mistake because I had to wind about 4 rounds to the rear brakes. And one-day shows make it tough. When you come out, you gotta be on it, and we missed it.
All right, tough break for Robbie Gordon. Mike?
And a pretty good session for Jason Leffler, I'd say. A new track record, but when you got out of the car, you said you weren't completely satisfied with it. Why not?
I just, the Great Clips Camry's been awesome all day. I love this track, but I just overdrove it. I mean, like a complete idiot. Track was slick. I thought it, you know, since it was shaded, that it would have a little more grip, and it didn't. With that long race we just had on there, it got slick. But guys have done a great job. Looking forward to the race tomorrow. It's going to be all about conserving your brakes, and just got to thank all the guys. I'm pretty happy with that, but I wish I could do that lap over and not overdrive it so bad.
There's still lots of good cars here still to go. Where do you think this lap will put you?
It's getting cooler and cooler, and drivers are getting better and better. So I don't know, but I'm pretty happy to be the fastest in my session.
And at the very least, Alan, he can say he was the track record holder for at least 7 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. So Jason Leffler leading qualifying as Group 7 of 8 rolls out onto the racetrack. Now I was trying to figure out who those fans in that front grandstand were cheering for while we were doing the Jason Leffler interview, and I could think of a couple of good candidates. Patrick Carpentier in this group, Quebec native, and Andrew Ranger, Quebec native as well, coming out onto the racetrack as part of this 5-car group number 7.
If you were guessing, I'd say it's a pretty doggone good guess.
I had a great crowd here today since this morning.
Yeah.
These people come out and like cheering for their hometown heroes.
Here is Patrick Carpentier, the 39-year-old from Joliet, Quebec. Remember, has done so well in this race just about every year that he's run it. I can remember the first year, 2007, when Robbie Gordon got into a little dispute with NASCAR over the finish. We had Robbie Gordon doing donuts on the front stretch, thinking he won. Kevin Harvick doing donuts on the front stretch because he won. And Carpentier doing donuts on the front stretch because he finished second in the race. It was quite the scene.
Alan, one thing I noticed about this racetrack, you just can't get too aggressive with the car at this particular track. And that's one thing that Patrick does a great job at, keeping the thing on course, staying smooth.
And also getting up to speed, here's Andrew Ranger, 23-year-old from Roxton Pond, Quebec, his 7th NASCAR Nationwide Series race. This young guy has really been amazing in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series, NASCAR's regional touring series here in Canada. This team has had some troubles in practice today. We'll follow up on that story in just a minute. Now, someone certainly who will contend for the pole, Max Pappas.
Okay, now we're qualifying in reverse order from the first practice session, and this is the next to the last group, but Max Pappas was the fastest car in happy hour. So we expect, whoa, just gets a little out of shape right there. We expect him to be a contender for the pole, though.
And had the fastest overall lap between the 2 practice sessions. So we'll see. So Pappas on the clock. Meanwhile, Carpentier tracking right now 6th, 7th. Keep an eye on his progress as it compares to current leader in qualifying, Jason Leffler. As he makes his way around here, Carpentier driving a Michael Waltrip Racing prepared machine for a second year here at Montreal.
I just heard the rear tires on Patrick's car just lock up a little bit on that entering the corner there. Looks like probably getting into turn 8.
Yeah, he's not the only one struggling out there. Looked like the 20 car also got off the track.
Listen to the cheers. One of the big grandstands at the track down there in turn 10. It'll be that way all day on Sunday for Carpentier, Villeneuve, all those drivers. All right, so here comes Pappas to set the first time in this group, tracking 3rd fastest overall, and it is indeed minute 41.58 seconds. Also good enough to be a new track record, by the way.
Yeah, but look at this right here. This is where Logano went off and dug up a bunch of grass in this area. This is definitely going to slow the cars down that go through here. See right here, it goes wide, has to go through this grassy area with that nose down on the ground. You can see how it drags all this out on the track.
Wow.
It's definitely going to be an issue for these other cars coming through here.
And how much of an issue is it going to be on the nose of that 20 car? Ew.
And that was a big surprise for Pappas. He had no idea that was there and got around that corner. It's right in front of him. You saw the car kind of kick around a little bit. Probably
See, he's
spooked
on
him
a fast lap, too.
Probably spooked him just a little bit.
Now the run down to the big hairpin turn. Seen a lot of drivers lose time right here.
It's a good passing zone right there, too, Alan. We're going to see a lot of that tomorrow onto entry of turn 10 there.
Oh, look at the time he gained there. Boy, that thing spun around. You see it in the middle of the corner? It went down to the minus where he was faster, and then it swung right back around the other way on the exit of the corner.
But he still made up a lot of time there. He made up a couple of tenths.
This car's got a lot of horsepower in the hood. And there's the power kicking in.
2 corners to go. Is it going to be enough? Turn 14.
Was going the right way. Oh, he's got to run another lap.
You get up on those rumble strips too much, and you toss that left front tire way up in the air. That means you're off the throttle. Oh, locked up the rear tires.
That's not going to get it done.
Momentary wheel hop.
Yep. Ranger tracking 4th fastest. His first lap was 6th quickest overall. I mentioned this team had some trouble. They've had to change an engine during the day today. Under NASCAR's rules in the Nationwide Series, they'll have to start the race at the back no matter where they qualify. But getting out here and putting in a good qualifying spot gives them pick of pit position.
And that's key. I mean, you want to get a good pit selection.
Man. Caught a lot of that curve.
That's got to hurt inside the race car. That's got to be a jolt.
Got to hurt the car, man.
Yeah.
You don't want to bend up all those ball joints and A-frames.
You know, race.
Look at Ranger now. He's in the negative.
All right, Carpentier, 2nd, 3rd. Look at how close that is to the pole winning time. Hundredths of a second. Tell you what, that tells you just how close this thing is. We've got from 1st to 4th right now.
It's tight right there, just within a few tenths.
Yeah, less than 2.5 tenths of a second.
And he got in turn 10 pretty good just then. I didn't hear any wheel hop.
Got off really well. You can see it now going into the negative.
Now the problem is he's got Max Pappas just trying to slow down in front of him there. Okay, he's off the left. He's going to be fine, it looks like.
Pappas still on the clock. Has Carpentier called it off? Oh, he called it off.
Did. Oh, man. Looks like he had a shot at it.
Yeah, called it off. So Jason Leffler's time still holding up as this group runs. Joey Logano, you see, is tracking a good lap. Despite the grass cutting and plowing he did earlier.
I can't believe the front of that car is still on. He hit that grass so hard, it took like a 3-foot square chunk out of the ground.
Didn't hurt the car at all.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Oh, looking great.
New leader, new track record. Joey Logano, 1 minute, 40.90 seconds.
All right, get you some of that road course ace. A 100.9.
Definitely not a self-proclaimed road racer here, but got a good car, is a good little driver, and he just showed all the road race guys how it's done.
Wow, that was a good recovery. My first lap. Looked like I was first time on the racetrack again.
Well, he finished 2nd at Watkins Glen in the last road course race for the Nationwide Series. And Joey Logano has taken over the lead in qualifying for the Nationwide Series with just 5 drivers left to run.
I got to think, though, that Patrick Carpentier came in a lap too soon. He had a good lap going there, and I don't know if they called him in or what, but kept him from having a shot at it. Yeah, that's his divot right there.
Yeah.
That car had some good support bars under the front of it to hold on to that. That was a...
Take a look at this. Replace your divot?
Take a look at this plow job. Whoa!
Oh, man.
Wow.
Look at that. Didn't even hurt the car, though.
It's a strong front end.
That's pretty amazing.
Okay, that part of that divot was already there.
Yeah. But still.
Yeah.
All right, so Logano goes to the top of the stack, but Leffler and Menard hang in second and third. Pappas, Coleman, and Ranger now occupy spots 4, 5, and 6 overall. On Ile Notre Dame, in the middle of the St. Lawrence River, sits Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, where the NASCAR Nationwide Series runs 200 miles tomorrow. We're down to the final group of qualifying. And yes, if you happen to notice on the Jumbotron on the right side of the picture, there are critters in and about near the racetrack. Robbie Gordon avoided an encounter with one earlier. We'll hope none of the 5 cars in this final group and none of those 2 critters, yes, 2 different ones at different places on the track, have encounters in this last session of qualifying. You know, little fella, if you saw what Joey Logano did in that last run, you wouldn't be that close to the pavement because you're not safe there, Mike.
You know, Joey was looking at our monitor. He saw that critter and he joked, the reason they're out is because I scared him out of its home. What happened as you got off the racetrack?
Well, my first lap, I looked like a dart without feathers out there. I looked terrible. I looked like a first-time driver out there. So I was like, man, I need to calm down and just get a good lap, and that was my second lap. I thought my second lap was going to be good until I hit the grass that I threw out on the racetrack. So then the third time the track was clean, I hit a good lap, and yeah, I think it'll be up there. Obviously, it'll be up there, but I don't think it's going to be the pole. You know, I think it's definitely going to be faster than that. But you know, it'll hang in there, third, fourth, probably. You know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But feel bad for the groundhogs, man. I didn't mean to run them out of their home.
Nonetheless, an excellent recovery for Joey Logano, Shannon. He comes in with a lot of confidence. After all, he did finish second at Watkins Glen earlier this month.
And not a bad recovery for Max Pappas, who had to avoid the dirt that Joey Logano left behind. How was that lap out there, Max?
I mean, it was amazing. You know, the rim car was very fast. You know, I saw some, some dirt, you know, over there in turn 6 and 7. It definitely made the car lose. But I think we had it. You know, I went all the way into the last corner and I went and brake really, really deep. And you know, I couldn't really stop it as good as I did in practice. And maybe the rubber of the Grand Dam, you know, made the track a little bit more slick for sure. But definitely get a great effort. You know, so proud of driving the rim car for Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Delana. You know, we have something, a special piece for tomorrow. So we're gonna see.
Good luck. It's always a pleasure to talk with Max Pappas, guys.
4th fastest overall as the final group of qualifiers rolls onto the racetrack. The loudest cheers, no doubt, being given for this 32 car, Jacques Villeneuve, who is going to be the first car to take the green flag in this session in a minute. Now, bottom of that list, current Nationwide Series Championship leader Brad Keselowski, who has had a somewhat adventure-filled day. This was earlier today in final practice. Some problems on the 22 car with a brake hose catching on fire. Keselowski bailing from the car in the garage area, the team extinguishing the blaze and making repairs. And he, with one of the 5 fastest laps in the earlier practice session, has himself in this last group.
I talked to Paul Wolf. He said that the brakes are getting extremely hot. They just ran like a 6th lap run when that brake duct caught on fire. He said that brake rotor temperatures upwards of 1,400 degrees. So it's going to be a challenge for these cars to keep brakes on them all day tomorrow.
You just got to believe that's going to be a big story tomorrow, especially the guys in the middle of the pack where they can't get any cooling to their front end. I believe they're going to have a lot of problems.
So here's the man that's going to get the biggest cheer in this final group. The local hero, former Formula One champion, former Indy 500 champion, and racing at the track named for his father, Jacques Villeneuve. On the clocks. He has been spectacular in the 2 Nationwide Series races so far this year. Listen to the fans down in the Turn 1 stands. He's been spectacular in the races so far this year, but they've had a little trouble keeping brakes on the car for him. That could be an issue for tomorrow. For today, let's see if he can lay down a number.
Well, this is the guy that has won 11 Formula One races in a 10-year span from 1996 to 2006. So definitely knows how to get it done on road course anywhere in the world.
Yes. We watched him run at the Road America race. It was so impressive, that particular track, all day long. You could you could see how aggressive he was throughout the day. I mean, you could just watch it and see him, the tires in the air, the back end sliding around. He did it lap after lap, and finally lost the brakes.
Tracking 3rd fastest with plenty of time to go in this lap to get better. Down into turn number 10, the big hairpin.
It's a good corner.
This is his first time lap coming up, and most of the cars have run faster on their 2nd lap. Paul Menard is probably the highest car in 3rd that ran his fastest lap on the 1st lap.
Be interesting to see. Asked many times this weekend about what it would mean for him to win at the track named for his father. He said, I don't think about it when I'm in the race car, but it would be really neat to win a NASCAR race and to win at this racetrack again. So he finishes his first lap, and it comes up in 7th spot on the board. And again, as Andy mentioned, the second lap has been the better of them for most of the drivers. Here's another guy to keep an eye on, Marcus Ambrose.
You think?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this guy can get it done. Set on the pole at Watkins Glen, won the race.
Led the most laps in this race the last 3 straight years and not won. And not won in 3 different ways. Had a tangle with Robbie Gordon, 2007. 2008, a pit road speeding penalty. 2009, a mistake leading the race in that last corner. And he finished second to Carl Edwards. Ambrose trying to get himself some good track position to start his quest for that elusive Montreal win. Second fastest there for Ambrose. Keselowski going to come up 6th quickest on his first lap. So now we begin tracking the second laps of some in this group. By the way, Carl Edwards 4th on his first lap.
Okay, this one's getting it done now. You see he's tracking first. See how he gets down into this corner.
A lot of guys
have made up and lost right here. Man, look how he makes up time getting in the corner. Now see if he can hold it coming off.
Spinning the other way, but holding.
A real long straightaway, and horsepower is very important on this long straightaway. See how this Toyota engine holds up for him.
Oh, it's close.
It's gaining more speed. Losing a little bit. Oh. Top end horsepower. Looks like it is kind of a little weak right there.
Took some air there, made
Gain
a little
one more
time.
if you need to.
This is
one
close.
more if you need to.
Gonna be close.
Looks like it's gonna be fast enough so far. He goes to the top.
40.8. 40.8.
Carl Edwards flashed by in 3rd spot.
Keselowski wide in turn number 10. That's not going to help him. Again, showing 7th fastest. By the way, Ambrose, the only guy that has to qualify on time in this group. So that end of the field's pretty well been set. Here's Ambrose. Is this fast enough? Got him. Ambrose to the top of the stack.
By just barely a 10th, not quite.
And still the cheers from the local fans. What a duel in this last session of qualifying.
Ambrose going for more. You see sparks flying from under the car over the curbs.
Oh boy. That did away with that one.
I heard that clear in the booth up here.
Oh man, and he had some to spare getting there too. He looked like he had a good lap.
Well, you know what? It hasn't gone completely away
still
yet.
negative.
It hasn't gone completely away yet. Oh, this is fun.
I can't wait to see these 2 turns.
Yeah. How much air does he take off this curb? Oh boy.
Yeah. He got it. If he can hold on to it.
Scattered by a 10th.
Checker flag.
New leader.
Unbelievable.
Villeneuve.
All right, 40.6.
Ambrose isn't done yet.
Crowd loves this.
Good lap.
Edwards.
There
4th.
comes Ambrose.
Ambrose
He's a little
tracking.
quicker.
Yeah. How to be a villain and a hero all at the same time.
Well, he's got a 10th to spare getting down into these last 2 turns. This is where he lost the race, though, last year to Carl Edwards.
Boris said 5th. Final sprint to the line. Is it enough? Yeah.
It's going to be enough.
Marcus Ambrose on the pole.
Good job, buddy. That'd be on the pole right now, bud. Good job.
Now that
Good
was
job, guys.
exciting to watch. That was really cool.
Well, like I said, how to be a hero and a villain all at the same time.
Marcus Ambrose broke some hearts right there.
Yes, he did.
Great job, Marcus. What you have here?
That's okay. Villeneuve started on the front row.
Yep. That was fun.
That was fun.
That session was just fun. So Ambrose, who has been so star-crossed in this race, will lead this field to the green flag, and how much pressure, how much self-imposed pressure on this man who said, and I quote, "I'm going to keep running it till I win it."
Well, you know, he knows he's the best, one of the best road racers out there. He's dominated this race after race, and only to lose it at the very end. He's going to try to put it all together and go out of here feeling a lot better. But he started off pretty good right now. Now he's on the front row for the race tomorrow. Great run out of Marcus.
Let me mention that Pierre Bourque, Kevin O'Connell, and Stanton Barrett will be the 3 drivers who don't qualify. Everybody else locked in. There are the top 10. What a qualifying session. Ambrose, Villeneuve, Logano, Edwards, and Said, your top 5 at Montreal. Spectacular Saturday here in Montreal. Expecting another spectacular day weather-wise Sunday for the race. Coverage begins from here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve tomorrow at 2 Eastern Time with NASCAR Countdown on ESPN2. It'll be Ambrose and Villeneuve on the front row with Logano, Edwards, and Said rounding out the top 5. 74 laps. We've had all kinds of twists of plot and crazy happenings in this race over the years. What'll tomorrow bring? Join us and find out starting at 2 Eastern here on ESPN2. Well, the man who broke the hearts of some of the local fans, but certainly is doing himself well by winning the pole for this race. The handshake between the two, Mike.
And they're both congratulating each other on some sensational drama. First for you, Jacques. What was that like trying to beat his lap?
Well, it was fun. I didn't know what lap time anybody else had done. I just knew that the second lap wasn't quick enough. I needed to put a good one in and push a little bit too hard in a hairpin and lost a few tenths there. So it was close, but it was fun. This track is a track where you can lose a lot of time just with the tiniest of mistakes, and it's very stressful. It's a lot of fun.
Did you have any idea what type of duel you had going on with this guy over here?
Well, I could imagine it because he's always been phenomenal here and very quick at the Glen not too long ago. So I knew that once qualifying would come about, it would be tough, and the chances it would be ahead. But we had to fight it, and it got close. It was fun.
And Marcus, I don't know if you heard the crowd response, but obviously he's pretty popular here in Montreal. What's it like to play spoiler today?
I think I just made the entire population of Canada really mad at one little Australian because, yeah, it would have been a great story for Jacques to be on the pole, but it's a great racetrack. Jacques' a fierce competitor. I've been a hero of his watching him do all his F1 and IndyCar stuff, so to be matched up against him on the front row tomorrow, it's going to be really exciting for us. We expect a great crowd. Canada just turns the racing on. I tell you, it's just a great facility, great crowd, great city, great time of the year to be up here too, and we got a good shot. That car was about as good as I've ever had a road course car around here.
I want to know your perspective. Were you quite aware of how fast he was and what you needed to do in those last 2 laps?
No, I didn't want to know what position I was in. I just wanted the lap times because I just wanted a reference on what I expected the lap to be like. And the last lap, I was, you know, I was had my tongue hanging out trying to lay the lap down. I knew a 40-70 was decent, but I didn't know that Jacques was matching me lap for lap. But just a great run for us. You know, this is a part-time team. My Cup crew, the majority of them have come up, volunteered their time for this weekend away from their friends and family, and I appreciate them coming over here to help me out trying to win this race.
Well, the stage is certainly set for a sensational race on Sunday. Ambrose on the pole, Villeneuve right alongside as they start the race tomorrow afternoon, Alan.
What a qualifying session here in Montreal. What a grid we've got for tomorrow's race. We'll show you the starting lineup when we come back to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Fans filing out of Circuit Gilles Villeneuve after a thrilling qualifying session that came down to a duel between Marcus Ambrose and the man who is racing at his home track, the track named for his dad, Jacques Villeneuve, as we check the starting lineup for tomorrow's race.
Well, take a look at Joe Logano there in the second row inside. Hit all that grass, plowed it up. The car held in there. Good run out of him. 3rd place.
See Paul Menard there in the inside of the 4th row. Had a good qualifying run.
I still think great result for Boris Said, by the way, getting up there in the top 5. Remember that Ranger will have to go to the back of the field after an engine change this weekend. So will Michael McDowell. He'll have to go to the back of the field. And Patrick Carpentier, we're still a little puzzled over that one.
Yeah, I think he really made a mistake coming in as early as he did. He had a good lap going. We were tracking it on our tracker. Obviously, they can't see that, but I think he came in just a lap too soon.
Robbie Gordon probably is going to have to go to the back of the pack also to put all the brake ducts back in that car. They got tore off.
Unless they just take a chance and roll the dice on it. We'll see. Some of the others, you see Justin Allgaier back in row number 12. Taylor Malsom led the session early on. He wound up back in row number 15. Some of the series regulars, including Tony Raines, Mike Wallace, Michael Annette, sprinkled back through the tail end of the field. And Jeff Green get in the back of the row. By the way, no groundhogs were injured in the making of that grid. So for Marcus Ambrose, he'll try again after 3 frustrating years in Montreal. So Marcus Ambrose in search of his first career NASCAR win. Robbie Gordon behind him.
Robbie Gordon to the inside for the lead.
Ambrose goes back on him. Who is leading the race? When did the caution come out?
Get black flag me after the race. I'm staying here.
They are putting the black flag up for Robbie Gordon. And indeed, Gordon will hit Ambrose.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Marcus Ambrose, your leader, in the pit lane, has to serve a pass-through penalty. Despite all this, Marcus is in 3rd.
You know, we've dominated the race twice here in 2 years and haven't closed the deal.
And look at Ambrose. Is this guy good on a road course? Here he comes. Oh, Marcus! No! Can you believe this? Carl Edwards gets around him. Marcus makes one mistake all day, and it's going to cost him the win.
I just made one mistake and it cost me the race.
Chance to getting back 3 years of frustration in one afternoon lies ahead for Marcus Ambrose on Sunday, and he will do it from pole position in this race after a thrilling late qualifying session duel with Jack Villeneuve. Now, the man who benefited from that one little Ambrose mistake at the end of last year's race, Carl Edwards, he starts 4th, Shannon.
And Alan, I'm sure you can guess which one of those highlights Carl Edwards liked the most. Down here with Edwards, who will start 4th, as you just said. What kind of race are we going to see tomorrow after watching some of those highlights from the last couple years?
Yeah, it's going to be wild. The difference is it's dry, so we're going to race, you know, the braking zones. And Marcos and Robbie Gordon and, you know, and these guys, Boris said, they're so good, Villeneuve, at the braking that I think I've got my work cut out for me in my Fastenal Fusion, but I think it's going to be a race about saving the brakes, about pit strategy. It's going to be hard to pass, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. That race last year was so much fun. The fans are so great here. The racetrack is exciting to race on, and I knew Marcus was going to get that pole. I talked to him, and he always does the, oh, yeah, you know, I missed the chicane, I'm no good, or whatever, and then he goes out and pulls out that lap, and he's going to be very tough tomorrow, I believe.
All right, starting 4th, how is your car for this weekend?
I think my car is very good. It's the car we raced at Road America and at Watkins Glen. We had a little engine trouble, so we didn't get to finish that race, but it's good. I love these road courses. I'm learning a lot. Guys like Boris said, Marcos have been helping me a lot. Paul Menard's helped me a lot, and it mean a lot to get a win for Fastenal and Copart north of the border here. That'd be huge.
Your defending race winner, Carl Edwards, starting 4th. Alan?
Winner of 2 of the last 3 road course races in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. So, a great afternoon of qualifying. Final thought and looking ahead to tomorrow's race when we come back to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. Coverage of Major League Baseball continues on ESPN tomorrow and Monday night. David Ortiz and the Boston Red Sox take on AL East rival Tampa Bay, led by Evan Longoria, on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern. Then it's the NL East on ESPN's Monday Night Baseball. David Wright and the Mets take on Jason Hayward and the Braves. Both games available on ESPN3.com. Pennant races and both contests at stake as well. Boris said qualified 5th today, Mike.
And a very strong qualifying effort. Obviously, one of the favorites coming in. What are your expectations on Sunday?
Well, my expectations, hopefully, to run good, make it to the end. I haven't had much luck in the last couple of races, but you know, this is Zaxby's car. You know, we have performance friction brakes on the car, and they're on the side of our car. And I think the key here at Montreal is going to be brakes. So we got the best brakes in the business, and hopefully that'll get us to the end without me making any dumb mistakes.
I know you were sizing up the competition a little bit, looking at where Fellows is starting, looking where Villeneuve is starting, and obviously where Ambrose is starting. How do you look at the way this race is going to play out between all you very accomplished road racers?
You're absolutely right, Mike. But here's the deal. I mean, you can't really look at that. I mean, I'm just going to race the track, manage my brakes, and hopefully not getting any incidents along the way, because I think there's going to be a lot of action for the fans. So hopefully with 10 or 15 to go, I can bide my time and then run strong at the end.
Best of luck.
Thanks.
And Boris said, rolls off 5th on Sunday, Alan.
All right, Boris, one of those hoping to have a good run here in the middle of the St. Lawrence River on Notre Dame Island. And we will come back in just a minute and look ahead at tomorrow's race. Just a second.
NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying is brought to you by Wrangler. For unbeatable comfort and value, you can count on Wrangler. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans. And Bear Aspirin. Bear, expect wonders.
After a very long and busy on-track day at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, the fans head out, the competitors head out, and we look ahead to tomorrow's race. What are we going to see here at Montreal tomorrow?
Hey, we're going to see an aggressive race. There's no doubt about that, but we really don't know what we're going to see because this is a new race this year to me. I mean, the last couple of years, all the rain, but all the drivers have been telling us, Rusty, watch the brakes. I think we're going to see a lot of problems with that.
Well, we heard Boris said say that he was going to race the racetrack, and I'll tell you, this is a tough racetrack to race, and the driver that does the best job of that, staying off the curbs and taking care of his brakes, taking care of his equipment, will have a shot at it.
I think it's going to be a fantastic race. We've had lots of crazy happenings in this race in its 3-year history. We'll see what happens tomorrow when we bring you the NASCAR Nationwide Series 4th visit to Montreal. Our coverage starts with NASCAR Countdown at 2 Eastern Time. Hope you'll be with us. The weather forecast is great. Obviously, we've got a great field, got an interesting matchup at the head of the pack, and we look forward to that one tomorrow afternoon at 2 Eastern. What a duel late in qualifying. Jack Villeneuve, favorite of the home Quebec fans, upstaged by Marcus Ambrose, trying to win this race finally after 3 years of frustration. Join us tomorrow, see how it all turns out. Coming up next, the 2010 Olympus U.S. Open Series, the Pilot Pen Tournament from New Haven. Marcus Ambrose on the pole at Montreal.